Bros, Dolce Gabbana has blessed us with a new The One. They took some time off, you know, they left us hanging, but they decided that we are worthy of a new flanker, and it has finally dropped at Macy's, The One Parfum, which means they're gonna make the one elixir, doesn't it? That's what that means. The eau de toilette, the eau de parfum, the parfum. That's how it goes. But yes, the One Parfum dropped at Macy's, and I dropped a cool $190 to get my hands on it. And I'm gonna let you guys know if it was worth the time off, or if Dolce & Gabbana needs to kill the one forever and go back to making non-stop flankers of K. Spoiler alert, please God no! Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you guys are doing well. But also, in case you guys were unaware, they released a new The One Eau de Parfum as well, which I also picked up. I find this one really interesting because actually on the side of this is The One Eau de Parfum. It came with this slip cover and it says up to 16-hour wear. And I crap you not, it has an asterisk, and at the bottom it says clinical test. 97% agree it leaves a long-lasting trail. 2 asterisks, self-evaluation test. But that is The One Eau de Parfum, and we'll get to that in another video. For today, we need to focus right here on the new big dog, the new king of the One lineup. Let's go ahead and get in close and take a look at this presentation so we can start breaking down how the One Parfum smells and how it compares to the fragrances that came before it. First, the presentation. Unfortunately, the One Parfum does not have a cool slipcover. So, I don't know how many hours it lasts. I don't know what percentage of people said that I had a long-lasting trail. Truly though, it is gonna be sick if that becomes like a new thing that brands just start slapping on there. 42-hour longevity. 99.9% said smells pretty good. Self-evaluation test. Obviously, they're not going to put it on there if it sucks. 6-hour longevity. 42% said it's pretty terrible.
You plotting on me, boy? No, sir.
So yeah, the box, not too much going on here. Just a dark coloration. You have on the front the name of the fragrance, the size, and the concentration. Again, Parfum is the concentration, 100 ml size, made in Italy. You got a little DG up top, nothing on the sides. On the back, you have your ingredients. You also have 3 notes: black pepper, labdanum, tobacco. Then on the bottom, you're gonna find your badge code and your barcode. Badge code is C23102. And now the bottle. It's got a nice dark coloration to it, kind of an ambery color scheme. You have on the front there the name of the fragrance and house, and not too much else. On the bottom, you have a sticker, has your badge code. It does feel ever so slightly different in the hand compared to the older bottles. Feels to me that it's slightly more squared off rather than rounded off. Again, makes no real difference, but if you hold one of the older bottles, it has more of like a smooth curvature around the bottle. This one feels more like a rectangle that's sharper with the edges. And there is also a difference with the atomizer. Let's go ahead and do a couple sprays here. Nice. They've upgraded the atomizer. It's not quite like a full-on Dior Sauvage pressurized blast, but it's way better than the stuff you're gonna find on bottles like Bottled Absolute by Hugo Boss, or Forever Wanted Elixir. That one also pretty terrible. In terms of the atomizer, not the fragrance itself. Also inside my box were a couple of tiny little pieces of paper. Dolce & Gabbana, thank you for choosing Dolce & Gabbana. This fragrance has been created in Italy using only the highest quality raw materials, selected according to the fine fragrance criteria. So Dolce & Gabbana really want you to know that they appreciate you buying their fragrance, which is a nice little touch. Now, as I said, I bought this one from Macy's. I'll have it linked in the description. As of right now, when I'm filming the video, that's the only place to pick it up, at least if you're in the US. Of course, as time goes, it will become available at other places. Before we dive deeper, codes. These are coupon codes. If you don't know what those are, that means you can type these in and use them at these stores to save money. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of them here. Just anytime you shop at any of those stores, use those codes, save yourself a little cash. Most of those, of course, gonna be discounter stores where you can save money across just about anything you want. All right, how does it smell? Was it worth the wait? Because keep in mind, for most people, the One Eau de Parfum is the go-to in this entire lineup, which is now changed. Newly updated packaging and an enhanced fragrance, it says. But again, no, not about that right now. Well, the One Parfum, it opens up spicy, but controlled. It's going to smell immediately familiar to you if you know how the One Eau de Parfum smells. If you've worn that one, if you've owned that one, this one is gonna hit that familiarity for you. But It is different. It's noticeably more refined, and also there's a nice sort of woody aspect underneath everything when you first spray it on. So it opens up with this nice, soft, citrusy note, and also a fresh, spicy blast. So that's gonna be the black pepper. That's one of the official 3 notes on the back of the box. Though depending on where you look, you can find more than just 3 notes for the scent. And it's also got this nice kind of aromatic blend working together with the spice, with the touch of citrus and the woodiness. So it smells really rich and refined with good depth as soon as you spray it on. Now there's also some really nice sweetness in here when you first spray the fragrance on, but it's deliberately restrained. So nowadays, if you look across most of the fragrances coming out in the designer realm, a lot of them have a certain thing in common, which is an overload of sweetness, whether it's caramel or toffee or vanilla or tonka or chestnut or whatever. That has become the norm. And I'm not saying I hate it. It's not what I'm saying, but it is much more common nowadays, which I think most of you guys will agree. This one does not walk that path. So you get a nice sweetness in here, but it's not over top of everything else. It's not like pushing through aggressively. Instead, it's this light kind of vanilla sweetness initially, but mixed together with that touch of citrus. It stays subtle, it stays polished. Like I said, it's not overly aggressive. And sort of underneath all of that, enveloping all of the notes, is this nice ambery warmth. It is just the faintest touch powdery, kind of along the edges, but the fragrance itself is not. It's taking the one eau de parfum DNA and pushing it higher, kind of elevating it, making it more refined, more sophisticated, and you can tell all of that as soon as you spray it on. Cleaner, smoother, more composed, but keeping that sensuality that the fragrance is known for intact. And if the opening sounded good, which it is, the mid is better. At least for me. Like this right here is what I've been waiting on. As it moves into that mid, to me, it becomes even more appealing. That sweetness, it kind of like, it plays peekaboo almost. It's not syrupy, it's not heavy. To me, it's almost like what I imagine like broken crystallized sugar to be. It's like sugar that's been, reduced in a pan over heat, and then it's been left to crystallize, and you just kind of crack it up and add it to the scent. That's kind of how it comes across. It's that type of sweetness that while you're wearing the fragrance, you may not pick it up for a little bit, and then it will kind of hit you, like this waft of sweetness will just kind of catch your attention, and then it fades back down again, and then it'll hit you again later on. It's that type of fragrance. And that sweetness blends together really well with a nice pipe tobacco in the mid. Also have some residual spices from the opening that carry over as well. Those aromatic touches that you get off the top, they soften as the fragrance dries down through the mid. So you can pick those up a little bit, but just not as much. They start to be overshadowed a little bit by the other notes. That woodiness that you can pick up from the opening, it's still there in the mid also. It's kind of like everything is resting on top of it. So again, it's not really like screaming that woody aspect here, but it's just letting everything else play off of those notes. So it's always there, always in the background. It just gives more texture, more depth, and that warm, ambery labdanum sweetness, it's there as well, and it just kind of fills the gaps of everything else in the scent. Into the dry down, rich, woody, spicy. The tobacco is not overly honeyed, so it's not like a syrupy mess, it doesn't come across like a big synthetic bomb or anything like that. Instead, this is gonna be one of those more classy tobacco scent profiles, a little bit more buttoned up. It's nice, it's smooth, masculine, really, really well done. And you get more of that polished, almost like black suit and tie kind of sexiness in the dry down with this one. And the longer it stays on your skin, actually, the more that woodiness comes out, because it's there in the opening. It's like a slasher flick, it's like Halloween with Michael Myers. You see him, he's lurking in the background. The wood is like that initially. It's there, you can pick it up, but the longer it stays on your skin, the more it kind of lets itself be heard or smelled, which I really, really like, because it's this subtle evolution, this subtle change from the opening into the mid, into the dry down. You still have the one scent profile, the same DNA, but it's just given more oomph, it just smells costlier, because it is. but it also smells it too. And even though that's not one of the official 3 notes on the back of the box here, you know, tobacco, lavender, black pepper, that woody aspect really is what takes this to the next level. It helps it stand out a little bit more if you put it up against the original, the one Eau de Parfum. It gives it that extra push, that extra vibe, that extra sophisticated, somewhat mature lean without actually smelling dated or old. More so mature like I have my life together, less so mature like I am a corpse. Just to, you know, differentiate that. All right, seasonality. When would you wear the one Parfum? Well, probably pretty obvious, but fall and winter time is when it's gonna be best suited, and it's more of an evening scent compared to daytime use. I mean, really right in line with the one Eau de Parfum, right? Just with a slight extra lean towards evening wear. That being said, I have always been a fan of how the one smells. Talking about the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum, like what is considered the one DNA, that style, I love it. And so this fragrance right here, realistically, I'd wear it just about whenever I can. But yeah, fall, winter, evenings, if you really want to say this is like the perfect time. And just like the one Eau de Parfum, it would be an awesome evening out fragrance, really good for a date night, just top notch as far as that mass appeal. Like this is one of those ones that when you smell it, just about everybody's gonna like it. Which I say the same thing about the one Eau de Parfum, to be fair. All right, now one of the big deals with the one Eau de Toilette and Eau de Parfum was always the performance, especially with the Eau de Toilette. The Eau de Parfum a little bit better, but both of those are well known for not being the strongest thing out there. And Dolce & Gabbana knows, right? They know, because they wouldn't put up to 16-hour wear and 97% agree it leaves a long-lasting trail unless they were aware. And they are very obviously trying to signal to people, yes, we know right now performance is really important. Yes, we know that those fragrances are not known for having good performance. We're trying to change that. Now, I haven't opened and smelled the new Dolce & Gabbana, the one Eau de Parfum, just yet. I was trying to take this thing off. It's like stuck on there. Oh, it is actually stuck on there. That would explain it. It's got a sticker, but I haven't opened that just yet. I'm gonna do it very soon, do a contrast and compare and everything, and do a video for that one. But what I'm saying is, they know that we know that, what? Huh? The performance is known to suck. So is this better than the one EDP? Well, the original version, yes. Thank God. To be fair, I never really hated the one Eau de Parfum for having lesser performance because it's kind of magnetic, you know? It's one of those ones that people smell it and it just draws them in because it's not bashing them over the head. And thankfully, this one doesn't do that either. The longevity here is absolutely better than the one Eau de Parfum. It will outperform that one all day. Really, really good staying power on skin or clothes, either one. Projection is also better than the one Eau de Parfum, but it's not beast mode. At least for me, it is strong enough. I don't care. I don't think that it's, you know, underpowered or anything. It's definitely stronger than pretty much every other The One fragrance, other than maybe like the one Luminous Night. And I would say even if it's not a The One fragrance, just in general, strong performance here. Just like one step down though from truly beast mode, which would be like your straight up unhinged stuff. It's present, it's noticeable, but it's not overpowering. And I think that's because the sweetness is kept in check. If they let that sweetness run wild, it could have been headache inducing, you know, just a little bit too much, but they balanced it out nicely with the woods, with the spiciness, with that bit of tobacco, with that aromatic touch that it has. And because of that balance, it makes it where, like I said, it's noticeable. People are going to be able to pick it up, but it's not going to, you know, be too much. So I'm sure you guys already know, but my verdict, this is what a Parfum flanker should be if you're going to keep it within that same established scent style. Because of course there have been some Parfum flankers that kind of just like go off the rails and just do their own thing completely. But this one keeps it in line with what the one is established to be. And then it takes that and respectfully, for what it's worth, makes it richer, makes it bolder, more masculine, woodier, and at the same time does it in a really nice refined way that doesn't go heavy-handed into like, oh, well, vanilla's popular right now, so just make it a vanilla bomb. And on top of that, they meaningfully upgraded the performance without changing the personality of what the one is supposed to be all that much. It's not reinventing the one, but what it is doing is perfecting that scent profile for somebody who wants something with more staying power, more polish, and more depth. Price aside, because it is expensive, almost 200 bucks, it smells killer. For fans of the One, this is having the One back, but better. So Dolce & Gabbana, don't screw this up. Come out with more of the One flankers, but actually, you know, put some effort into it. This is good stuff. Take this and run with it, you know? Which probably, like I said, is just gonna be the One elixir, but yeah, I'll take what I can get. So there we go, guys, the One Parfum. If you're a fan of the Eau de Parfum, of the Eau de Toilette, check this stuff out when you can. Right now, it's inside of Macy's. Funniest thing, I was actually in my local mall at Nordstrom. I didn't even go into the Macy's, and I found out when I got home that it was out at Macy's. So I was just like, back in the car. It is worth it though. Let me know in the comments what your favorite the One fragrance is. For me, up until this point, I'd say the Eau de Parfum and Luminous Night, and now this one right there with those. I want to thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.